Join the movement of self-discovery and acceptance. This is where we strive for more satisfaction, success, and peace while eliminating doubt, frustration, and bitterness. Come along with me as we explore human design with real-life examples and permission to love yourself better. Are you ready to go? Hello, hello, hello. In honor of Siblings Day this week, I want to talk about how I've used human design with my brothers and sister. To give you a little perspective, my dad's the oldest of 7, I'm the oldest of 4, and the oldest of 21 grandchildren. I guess you could say that I come by the characteristics of the oldest child pretty naturally. I like to think that I'm a supportive older sister that loves her siblings dearly. They might say something different, but hopefully not. It's been interesting to compare all of our human design charts and see where we are similar along with how our energies work differently. Out of the 4 of us, we have 3 different energy types, 3 different profiles. 3 of us have a defined spleen, 3 have a defined ajna, 3 have a defined root, and we all have a defined throat. I am a generator, and I definitely need to follow a stair-step process. Both of my brothers are manifesting generators. They also follow a stair-step process as fellow generators, but because they're manifesting generators, they have the ability to skip steps. I can truly see how they are here to figure out ways to make things more efficient. When I explained all this to them, they seemed to resonate with the fact that they need to be careful not to skip the wrong steps. My sister, Tara, is a projector. As a reminder, projectors are here to be an expert and to guide others' energy. This is an interesting role for her as the youngest sibling. She's definitely an expert in her work as a pelvic floor physical therapist and functional medicine practitioner. And I appreciate how she's grown into an energetic guide amongst the 4 of us. She can see things that we can't see, and she asks good questions when we need to talk through a situation we're dealing with. My 2 brothers are pretty close in age, and I'm sure there were times when competition played a part in how they related to one another. Recently, I was looking at their profile lines and realized that the threat of any competition could be thrown out the window because they're both here to be some form of leader or role model, not to mention that they both have incredible superpowers in general. My younger brother, Brandon, has a 6 in the conscious side of his profile. The 6 line goes through 3 phases in life. Until they're about 30, they go about life as the experimenter, learning what doesn't work to find out what does work. Then they sit back and watch for the middle portion of their life until they're about 60, gathering information as they quietly observe how others do things. Then after 60, they embody the true role model, living their life based on everything they've learned through experimenting and observing. Brandon definitely embodied the explorer and experimenter as a younger person. He would take things apart just to see how they worked and then put them back together again. Now I can see him being the observer, storing up powerful energy to step into his role model existence within the next 15 years. My oldest brother, Greg, and Tara have a 5 in the conscious side of their profile. The 5 line is the visionary leader, and both of them are very good at seeing the big picture about a project or a situation. This line has a tendency to be projected on, so I try to be careful with that my energy doesn't portray something that I'm not intending. They both also have a 1 in the unconscious side of their profile, which is very apparent to those around them. The 1 line is the investigator, and they both like to dive deep on the topics that they're passionate about, or when making a decision about something. My conscious profile line is the experimenter, or line 3. I'm here to continually explore options, figuring out what doesn't work so that I can help guide people to what does work. This can be challenging for my brothers to be patient with, since I need to follow all of the steps as a generator and experiment along the way. Well, they don't necessarily need to experiment, and they are here to find the most efficient ways of doing things. There are characteristics from our human design charts that can help us communicate better as siblings, too. As generators, Greg, Brandon, and I all need yes or no questions to respond to when making decisions so that we can check in with our sacral or gut response. So instead of saying something like, "What do you all want to do for Christmas this year?" we respond better to, "Do you want to get together the day after Christmas?" Or, "Do you want to have turkey for dinner?" Tara, on the other hand, because she's a projector, needs open-ended statements such as, "I wonder what your thoughts are about Christmas this year." Another thing we can keep in mind about the three of us being generators is that we need to respond to things that physically show up for us, whereas Tara's energy works better when she receives an invitation or is recognized for her expertise. This is something we can all work on, making sure she feels seen and valued. I mentioned at the beginning there are several centers that three of us in different combinations have defined. That means that the fourth person will borrow and enhance this energy when we're together. Tara has an undefined spleen center, meaning it's not colored in and she doesn't have consistent access to the intuitive energy that is associated with the spleen. She has the ability to sense that something is off because her undefined spleen is enhanced by the intuition of others. One of the coolest parts, though, is that she's here to become wise about health and safety for herself and others. Did I mention earlier that she's an expert in the health and wellness field? Brandon has an undefined ajna, which is the center where we process and store information. You might think that this would mean he has a difficult time processing information because it's undefined and he doesn't have consistent access to that energy. But it's actually the opposite. He has a fluid way of taking in information and synthesizing it that he's able to see different perspectives pretty easily. And it's more natural for him to change his mind about something. As his siblings, all with defined ajnas and a more fixed way of thinking, we need to be understanding when he changes his mind about something and realize that it's not that he's wishy-washy or can't make up his mind, but that it's more that he's received new information about the topic and it's made him shift his thinking. I can imagine that he might be able to resonate with the phrase, "I need to make order out of all this chaos of ideas swirling through my brain." I don't know. Having watched my brother work with machines and in positions where he figures things out, I would say that this enhanced processing ability has truly followed him through life. Now, Greg is the only one of us that doesn't have a defined G center. Many times this is also called the identity center, and it's where our self-worth, self-value, and self-love live. With his center being completely open, he has a stronger ability to experience more types of love since his center is amplifying the energy of others. The three of us with defined G centers have always had a good sense of who we are, even when we've experimented with being like someone else. Greg, on the other hand, has a deeper ability to adapt in different kinds of environments, kind of like a chameleon where he can be this kind of person over here with these people, and then that kind of person over there with those people. I'm sure this has served him well in his line of work managing people and projects. I've just scratched the surface with how human design can help us with our relationships, especially being able to recognize the gifts and energetic needs within your family. It's so helpful to know how each of your family members' energy works and to help them live in a way that feels authentic and easy for them. If you don't know this information about your family members, head on over to my website, laurabhip.com, and get your chart for free. Then schedule a one-on-one session with me to learn how you can support their energetic blueprint. Good luck with your journey and keep learning what you can. Until next time, happy exploring. I'm so glad to connect with you today. Please follow the show, forward it to a friend, and leave a review. Send me an email with how human design has changed your life, and I might feature you on the show. Until we meet again, don't forget to love yourself better.